What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Lost Records Journal Player One vs. Lost Records Focus podcast. This is episode 20, and we are in full on blown Lost Records season as well because we have
Red alert.
Red alert. So yeah, I'm Adnan, and that is my co-host from Game Ranks himself, Falcon, Adam Evalt. Hello.
I don't know if I can keep going with that bit. I don't want to get sued. But, today here on Folks, we are going to be talking about Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Starting with number 10 is Adnan from the UK. Boy, howdy, bloody hell, Big Ben, crumpets.
Okay, you're no longer Falcon anymore. We're dropping. I hope the real Falcon reacts to it on social media or reacts to it on YouTube in his own video. That'll make my day at that point, at least.
He's going to be like, who's this son of a gun taking my voice?
Exactly, yeah.
There can only be one nasally white guy on the internet.
But it'll just be you, though. It'll be your face reveal, and it's like...
Jeez.
But, Adam, this is our first of 2 episodes, I believe, in this month. And this is our last episode before the first tape comes out. So we started the podcast around last March, April time. And officially, tape 1, Bloom, will be out after this episode. It'll come out a couple of days after this episode. But the next podcast...
Isn't that crazy? Can we take a second to say, how insane it is that, after this episode... So this will drop on Wednesday? Right?
Yes, or maybe the 10th. It depends. I'm trying to gauge the times at the minute because it's the topic might.
Either way, 6 to 8 days, about a week, right? We were talking about how this game was delayed. We saw the teaser trailers, and now we're a week away. That's insane. Time is an illusion, dog.
Yeah, we are literally right around the corner from it, which is insane to know about. And this considered how far back we've covered it since StrangeCast. It was since when Don't Nod Montreal was just a studio, and it was very few people that we actually knew who were working on the timelines.
I think we started this when we got the teaser of the VHS tape in that Don't Nod logo reveals, right? We had the concept of this podcast, there's a videotape. We should start a podcast. Well, what do we have? A picture of a VHS tape. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it was. So I think how it worked the timeline wise, Don't Nod Montreal worked its way into StrangeCast quite heavily when they started teasing things, and I think the videotape, the image and stuff started to make its way in there, and we had theory episodes. The podcast launched after the first trailer dropped a couple of months after, so we had the first trailer at the Game Awards in 2023, and this podcast officially launched in March 2024, I think March or April 2024. So it's coming almost up to a 1-year anniversary as well. And ironically, we're about 20 episodes in as well. I still think people haven't even found us yet, which is even more the interesting thing because people haven't played the game. Some people aren't into it at this point. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. But
yeah,
as we're rambling on quickly, before we start as well, if you are new here, if you just found us, please do share, subscribe. Messed that up. Please subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications, like the video, share with your friends, help support this channel as well. We've just crossed 1,500 subscribers, so if you can help us get to 1,600, that would be brilliant. And also, the Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So it's available on Spotify with the video version, it's available on Apple Podcasts, so you can go over there, you can access this, you can rate the content, you get it immediately as soon as it becomes available. We've got 67 followers now on Spotify. It's trickling up, Adam. As this game's coming out and people are noticing it's going up the follower count. So
how much I love to trickle.
Trickling away, that's the one. So we're getting more followers as well, and obviously we've got about 15 ratings, about 4.9 ratings. So if you can rate us, it'd be great because you help us boost us out to other people. I did see a comment of someone saying there's actually I'll take this as well. I landed in a Discord server somewhere, don't ask me how.
Oh boy.
No, it was actually good. It was a good experience. Okay. I landed in a Discord server. There is a Lost Records dedicated Discord server that people have set up. It's actually really nice to go and check it out. I can't remember the name. I think it's Velvet Cove or something, the name. But I went in there just to have a nosy. So I typed in Adam and nothing came up. And I typed in my name, nothing came up. Then I typed in Falcon from Game Ranks, nothing came up. So I was like, right, nothing. But then I typed in podcast and someone was like, there's a Lost Records podcast.
Hey.
And they were like, I am sat. They got tons of hours of content. I was like, that made my day. So whoever that person is, thank you if you are enjoying the videos and still sticking with us. But yeah, Adam, we got quite a few things to talk about. So should we kick things off here as well?
Yeah, right on the pitch. Let's do this.
Yes. So I'm going to quickly pull up the first one. I can't find it. Yep, this is a big one, Adam. This is the big one for you, at least. So
big.
Via Steam. And by the way, guys, be aware that we're recording the 8th of February now. So I'm going to hope to drop this on the Monday, maybe ahead of Wednesday's schedule, because we're going to be playing against time now, because anything can come out in between it. So if things start to age like milk, that is, again, out of our control, because we are in this game. So I'm trying to just like take as a defense. So Adam, Steam has listed the Lost Records Bloom and Rage soundtrack online. So as you can see here, all the details are available. So you can get the soundtrack for free when it's available. It says there, this is additional content for Lost Records Bloom and Rage, but does not include the base game. It's a downloadable soundtrack, which will become free. And here are the big details.
Does it say that it's not available? This additional content for Lost Records does not include the base. Yeah, no, so it won't be for free, because you can. Little side note for anybody trying to do a music collection. You can buy game OSTs in Steam and on GOG. So, and they're cheap, dude. Like, I think you can buy most soundtracks for like $3, $5. So, yeah. So this is a good place to get your game soundtracks as well.
Fair play. Yeah, I think it's free if you own the game, obviously. They'll give you the soundtrack for free. But as Adam said there as well, you can basically buy this as well. And I think you should, because, they're messing around the quality of these songs we've seen See You in Hell so far. Speaking of which, as you can see there, it says, note, this reminder of the OST featured in Tape 2 Rage will become available as a free downloadable update when Rage is released on the 15th of April 2025. That's Tape 2, which has been delayed, as we talked about before. The Lost Records Bloom Rage OST is an 18-track dream pop / ambient album led by explosive punk song See You in Hell, and is by 3 female-led groups. You have Ruth Radlett, who is the former lead vocalist of
Chromatics.
Thank you, Adam. Yes. So Ruth Radlett, they have talked about Ruth Radlett before in some of the interviews. Obviously, Milk and Bone. Adam has praised Milk and Bone before. And
please buy. Like is it Dreamer? Yeah, the album is called Dreamer.
Yeah, Dreamer. Yeah,
get it on Bandcamp. It's so good.
Or an album? Is it an EP or an album?
EP, yeah, it's an EP. Yeah, I think there's only 5 tracks on it. So, but get that EP, dude. It's so good, so good.
Yeah, and I just corrected him with the music thing, so I'm going to get a last laugh on that. Anyway, and the last one, go and support Milk and Bone. I think one of their songs, Forgone, is on the soundtrack, which has already been available, and it is on the EP as well, as Adam has mentioned. And then obviously the Nora Kelly band, a rising Montreal alt country band, and you can see their song there, which is See You in Hell, which was released. It was a banger that we listened to. So it says, this carefully crafted dream pop and ambient soundtrack is steeped in nostalgia and ethereal vibes with tracks that linger like memories long after summer. So you see 10 tracks there. We'll have 8 more available after this. And Adam, I'll pull this back up after so we can talk about it. But I just wanted to pull up 1 or 2 more little things in between this topic, and I'll bring that screen back up for you. So here's just a couple of things. There's Kid Katana Records as well. 12 days to go until Lost Records Bloom Rage by Don't Nod is almost here. The first part of the official soundtrack drops on the 18th of February at midnight in your time zone. So you can get it instantly as soon as it's available. So, and there's a pre-save link there from Kid Katana, so you can check that out. And then obviously the gaffer, Michel Koch, as well.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the next topic? I think I messed that up, actually.
Oh, boy.
I think I might have messed that up. Is that Michel?
Let me look at the show notes real quick. I think you're good. Pretty sure you're good. Okay. We're live, people. We're live. We're doing this live. No. It's part of your notes. We're good.
Okay, cool.
You're good.
Yeah, but I think this bleeds into the next topic, actually. So I'll include it anyway. So Michel's tweeting about his put here just by listening to that playlist. No, actually, no. Do you know what, Adam? We'll leave this for the next one.
Okay.
Because it's more relevant to that next topic. But I'll bring the screen up, Adam, because and for people who are watching via video, we'll keep you informed via podcast stream. Adam, 10 tracks there. Quite a range of different things there. I don't think anything is spoiler heavy, so you're fine coming here and listening to this and watching it as well. I don't think you're going to get much. I think you're going to get more spoilery if you look at the trigger warnings and the content warnings that we looked at last time.
Yeah.
That was where a main bulk of the story was being told. But
no, there are OSTs that give away the story. More likely was Lena Raine made a soundtrack for a Don't Nod game, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was the one that
Harmony.
was Harmony. Thank you. That soundtrack gave away so much, dude. Like if you look through the titles, I'm like, oh, spoiler alert, I guess. But no, this one is you're safe. You're in safe spaces.
Is Lena Raine on this as well? Why do I feel like
no? I wish. Anytime Lena Raine is on a soundtrack, I'm buying that game. I'm buying it. Like Chicory, bought it. Have it. Mine. Actually,
Oh,
no. I
no,
don't have
sorry.
Chicory. That's my bad. What's up?
Sorry, Lana Rain is in one of the girls' playlists in the next
Oh,
topic.
is she?
Oh, yeah, we'll go back to it. I thought it was just like a little bit of a nod to I don't pun intended.
Okay.
From Don't Nod to Lana Rain, but Lana Rain is in the one of the girls' playlists, so that's why I got a bit confused. But Adam, there you go. Got a full list of songs there. Obviously, some big core themes that we can see. Swann is our centric main character and has her own theme, The Wild Unknown, which does look very interesting. And then other things as well, Riot Girls, Riot, which again fits in with the Bloom and Rage band, and then also The Abyss, which again fits in a central theme. Anything stick out for you? You are my music person. You are Player One versus the World's music-centric person. Abby's going to be throwing her toys out of pram now. I'm joking. You are Mr. Composer himself.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out to you? What do you like the kind of look of so far?
Well, the 5-minute tracks, the over 5 minutes ones, there's definitely some. This what I'm looking at with the times of the tracks. These are ambience. Like I look at track 4, Liminal Spaces, being 7 minutes 30 seconds. That is going to be an ambient vibe. So what I'm seeing here is that like this is going to be much more like dreamy ambient kind of music. So this isn't going to be like you're going to see like a central theme to it. You're not going to like stick out to it. See You in Hell obviously is like something that's going to stick in your head, but then you look at the 5-minute tracks. And if you listen to game OSTs a lot, like I do, my iPod is filled with game OSTs. It's just going to be something that's going to take you on a journey in the song. So that's what I'm seeing. We're going to see like a much more spacious kind of sound, less repeating. So it's going to be cool to hear. I think this is going to be one of my reading soundtracks, honestly. This is definitely going to be one of those soundtracks where I put on while I'm reading. Like, that's going to be fun, dude. I'm actually going to be excited to get this soundtrack and put it on my iPod so that I can... Oh, if it's on Bandcamp, even better. If it's on Bandcamp, even better. I love Bandcamp. But, yeah, no, it's good... Yeah, spacious.
I was going to ask you.
You were going to ask me.
You're more aware of this because you mentioned the time, which I think is interesting in the songs, and even the vibe as well. Because obviously they did the lo-fi trailer last year, which kind of fits into the theme and stylistic thing that they're doing with the game. Based on the times of those as well. So let's take Liminal Spaces, for example. Do you think that could be the equivalent of Lost Records' Moment of Calm situation? So do you when you have like Moment of Calm in Life is Strange, where you take a pause and they do the ambience thing, and it's like the moments of reflection?
Could be. Yeah, definitely could be. It fits in that MO of just like you have an ambient kind of sound that doesn't really stand out, but it's also flavors the scene.
Yeah.
A lot of these like Velvet. So you see track 5, Velvet Cove Exploration. So you're just exploring. But then Moonlights, you see right there. So exploration end, right? So that might be like you reached a point of like the end of the level. Yeah. The Wild Unknown being 5 minutes 22 seconds, that could definitely be like you're in her room, right? Yeah. And you're just kind of like taking in the ambience. Like you could be just like sitting somewhere. And then again, the Abyss being the Abyss, obviously we know that's it. Yeah. But yeah, this could be like just exploratory. The one that you mentioned that could be just like sitting and knowing is track 3. That's what I'm guessing is like you're just sitting in a room.
Liminal Spaces.
Liminal Spaces, I have no idea where that's going to go. I think that's going to be like a darker. So Gen Z has a nice little like lo-fi. Venus Theory had a good video on it. Venus Theory, who was the composer behind Evalt, and Evalt coming on the same day, baby. But like he had a good video about Gen Z's lo-fi answer. It's like a liminal pop kind of sound. So this is much more newer kind of lo-fi. So Liminal Spaces could be a creepy scene, but it also could be like a exploratory scene. You know,
See,
7 minutes 30.
Yeah. I thought Liminal Spaces would be the equivalent of the Moment of Calm that you see in Life is Strange.
That's a long one for 7 minutes, 30 seconds. That's a long one to put in just for sitting down. Like, how long do you expect somebody to sit down for? 7 minutes, 30 seconds, you know?
But it's like with like you might be right as well. I'm just kind of questioning because
I'm always right.
In Life is Strange, when you do it in like Life is Strange, you can just sit there for ages, can't you? And the track just like plays in the background.
But I feel like 7 minutes 30 seconds is even long for that. You know, you need like a 4 to 5 minute track for what you're talking about.
Okay, no, because that's why I asked you, because I thought I don't really know where the time, because like a lot of those things fit into it. So like, even like Dreamers, for example, that could be the equivalent of that scene when they're walking over the log and they're kind of looking through the forest together. The Wild Unknown, again, that could be like in Swann's bedroom, or could be the moment of calm, depending on what you're doing. So it's liminal spaces could be, again, something completely different. Velvet Cove Exploration, that could be where Swann's going through the forest before she meets the girls, because she's got her journey that she's doing in the summer where she wants to go out in the forest. That could be the end of the road where you get to there. Riot could be the song that they play, the Bloom and Rage band. So there's potential of that being that track that you develop in throughout the game. Or that
and again, I'm seeing that being 5 minutes 21 seconds.
Yeah,
that's a long one to be like a pop, like a punk pop song. Because like again, See You in Hell being 3 minutes 14 seconds. I'm looking at that 5 minute 21 second mark. I'm like, God dang! Like, what kind of track could that be? Like,
okay, so See You in Hell will be the track that they make in the game.
Yeah.
I kind of confused my things. What I was
instrumental version, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be the one that you make, I imagine, in the game as you do it. And it's more fitting to the time range of it. The Riot one could be interesting because that could be for like a bigger sequence. So, for example, like Nora's garage where you're sitting there and they're playing the music. There might be a scene in there being shot with it. But again, like I find it quite interesting because at least from like when we're trying to pick into this, you have a perspective of making songs at a certain range for different things you've worked on. And it's like, see how they fit in there. It's going to be, because like, the one thing I get from this as well is the MO from Michel, because when you look at the first Life is Strange, that ending, obviously, when Max and Chloe drive out of Arcadia Bay, it is fitted to obstacles. So it's like start to finish. Obstacles is like the entire montage has to be done in that, because when it ends, the track, it ends and the game ends as well. So it's like, where do we go from? I do wonder what happens.
That's what I mean. Like usually for something like a 5 minute track, you're usually looking for ambiance or something that fits the scene. So when we get to the 5 minute mark, it's usually just kind of like an ambiance kind of sound. So it has to like loop, and it has to like make sense within that 5 minutes. But like Swann's theme Zen edits. So I think I'm right here. So the Wild Unknown is like her house, and then a place like home is like the Zen moment. So like you see that's 3 minutes 17 seconds. That kind of like fits it. So yeah, I'm seeing this as more of just like we're looking more for ambiance rather than like something that is like directly in the scene.
Yeah.
So I'm getting really nerdy about this. I'm sorry about the listeners here.
But this is what Lost Records is, though. It's the same with like Life is Strange. You have to like, if you appreciate Life is Strange, you'll appreciate Life is Strange too. It's all about the music, man. It's all about the licensed tracks. It's all about the natural music that they use. Like I vie off Jonathan Morelli's music in the first Life is Strange, the second Life is Strange. You have to be nerdy about this because this gives you exposition on scenes that we're going to see in the game as well. Because it's never going to be like, oh, it's going to be like drum and bass, Swann in her room, like thrashing to something. It has to be like just enough to lift the scene emotionally. That's what I kind of like, expect from that music.
And also, if I can get a little bit nerdier about audio design, right? I wish I could talk about certain projects, but I can't. Because not because NDA, but just because they're not out yet, so I just don't want to speak on them. But yeah, so talking about audio design and what's called shoot. I'm forgetting the technical name for it. I've lost it in the records, but basically what happens in a track in a scene, right? Like you make like a 5 minute track, but then they're broken off into essentially acts. So like act 1, act 2, act 3. And then there's a certain transitional piece that you get when you get to a certain place within the level, you have this transition as you enter into that level, and the song changes into act 2. So act 1 will repeat in a certain section of that level. Then when you get to this next section of the level, that has to kind of flow into act 2. And then you reach to another part, and that becomes act 3. I'm forgetting the technical name for it. Shoot. But it's something that you have to design. as a composer to like make sure that the level there's enough music for you to transition and so that it gets into the certain level, so that as you're exploring, you're kind of hearing new sounds. And then if you're staying in one level, you're only repeating one sound. So it stays less boring. So that could be what we're seeing right here too, that there is a transitional piece that goes into how you're exploring the levels here.
I booed you before for not remembering that, but yes,
I know.
Everything you said.
I chose to ignore it.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I've talked enough about this. But that's my take on this soundtrack. It's more ambiance and also level design. I'd say this is focused on. Yeah.
Well, it's like because I think like obviously no, it's worth nerding out for that. But it's like when you said about the soundtrack and how it fits in. Like I imagine that kind of like connection through like levels and like weaving things in and out. Even their is it the audio lead Beatrix has kind of spoken about when they did See You in Hell and asked for like a different trial of it with See You in Hell.
So they have to mess it up so that when they design it, as you play the level, if you mess up, oh man, I hate that I forgot the technical name for it. Shoot. But yeah.
Well,
well, I had it. It's just like,
he's got.
I hate when you have those memories. And it's like, how about I'm gonna go away now. So,
well, it'll forever haunt him on this podcast. Boom, guys, in the comments. Anyway, Adam, I think we've covered a lot of that, so I hope you found that insightful, because I certainly did, from Adam at least. Adam, should we go into our next piece here?
Yes.
So continuing on with the music, as you can see here, the Lost Records Twitter page, or X page, where you want to call it nowadays, posted here saying each girl has got a playlist that speaks to her true personality, ready to discover what's on their tracks. Here's all the playlists with Kid Katana. And obviously that was relating to what Michel had put, where he put, just by listening to their playlist, are you more Swann, Autumn, Nora, or Kat? It was a blast to work on these playlists with Marin, and Marin's their senior brand manager, as you can see there. And obviously Kid Katana there as well, Records, who still haven't announced a vinyl yet. So guys, announce a vinyl, please.
They're going to announce a vinyl. It's Kid Katana, and they're putting out playlists. Come on.
There'll be a vinyl, but you guys will not own vinyl. I'll be putting my life savings into buying every copy of it, and you will not own any of it. Well, as you can see there, it says, meet the girls of Lost Records, Bloom Rage, from hangout spots to music inspirations, get to know the band that's about to steal your heart. And it was just like a little bits, including the links to the soundtrack. So let me just give you a link to it as well if you guys do want to check it out and you haven't been checking it out. As you can see, it's here. It's on Bento. There's a link on all the social media pages, and they're all there as well, curated playlists. So they're on Spotify,
Pennywise,
YouTube, and Deezer as well. So they're available on all of them, which is quite cool from Marin and Kid Katana to do this as well. So there's that. And then Adam, I'm going to pull the playlist up so we can kind of go through it with the listeners as well, because we have quite a few things here to talk about. Can you see my screen, Adam, just to double check?
Yeah, I've been just exploring on my own because I'm trying to find which Leonard Rain track.
I have them all here included in the side on my column, so we can go through them. So obviously the Lost Record Bloom Rage soundtrack, See You in Hell, is the only track available for the time being. Obviously that will be increased as it goes on. We have Swann's playlist, Adam, here with a lot of stuff. Even again, you could see You in Hell, Nora Kelly is there.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper obviously has to be in there. Got a nice bit of referencing Mazzy Star as well, Fade Into You.
Blade Runner Blues.
Was that on the Gears of War soundtrack? Or did Mazzy Star do a different one for Gears of War? Was it Dust?
Oh, yeah. I think you're thinking of Dust. I can't remember now. Dance of the Moonlights. Yeah, Moonlight Jellies. They got some Stardew Valley stuff in there.
One of our listeners, Stardew, posted that on Twitter, saying Michel is this canon in
is Stardew Valley canon within Lost Records?
And Michel's like, let's go with that. No, but I think someone did post that on Twitter to Michel about it. So Adam, as you can see here, continuing as well, Billie Eilish is in here.
Billie Eilish, of course.
Michael Jackson, yes.
Heal the World. Blech. Hated that track.
So Swann's got her own playlist there. Let's go into a bit of a Nora vibe. Obviously,
Adam, Pennywise. Let's go. I forgot about them.
We know where Nora's playlist is going to go just based on her personality. A bit of Weezer, Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, Sleep Now in the Fire. underrated track, absolutely.
Queen of the Stone Age, Beastie Boys.
Nice.
Obviously, Nora Kelly Band is back in there. Pearl Jam.
Can I just put this out?
Yes.
Luke made this playlist. Guaranteed. 100%. Luke made this playlist.
They literally probably went up to his desk and was like, right, Mr. Baghadoust.
Yeah.
Get it
Can you
sorted.
make a Nora playlist? Oh, yeah, you can always just use my personal playlist. That's fine.
Yeah. You can tell all the bases are live in these as well. Despite Adam's hatred for bass as well. Let's just like reinforce that for people.
Especially in heart-shaped box.
Oh,
yeah. Killing in the Name, another Rage Against the Machine one.
Banger. Boom. And then obviously as well, Just a Girl, No Doubt
Just
as well.
Just a Girl.
Classic. Yes. So you have the Bloomin' Rage's band inspirations as well. So interesting little picks here as well.
Cranberries. Okay. Interesting.
So we're going to scroll through these. Of course. Madonna is in there as well.
Yeah. Human Nature. Okay.
Are you feeling quite old looking at these as well? Some of these. I'm like, I want to see AC/DC.
Oh, like, dog. I work with a bunch of Gen Zers, and oh my God, dude. Like, my knees break. Basket Case. Nice.
What a banger in there. So, got quite a few there.
Crash Test Dummies. Yes.
Yeah, they're nailing these playlists. I love the vibe they give off them. Obviously, Cat's playlist. I didn't see many people talk about Cat's playlist at least. Which has got some interesting. Yeah, look at that.
Iggy Pop, of course.
That's an interesting one, obviously.
That is an interesting one. Yeah.
With P Riots. Iggy Pop, classic. Big train spotting vibes when I see Iggy Pop.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe playlist, this one.
I think she's got the most different out of all of them.
Oh my God, Fright Wig.
So we have some pretty decent ones here. And I'm going to say that Lena Raines is in here. Otherwise, I'm crazy.
I saw this real quick. That first track. I'm happy that Virtual Mage is in here. Virtual Mage is such a nice dude. I've had great interactions with him. Yeah, he's like a like 80s synth pop kind of artist. He's on Bandcamp. Really nice. So go check him out if you haven't, or follow him. Tell him Castle Garden says, hey, what's up?
NGL as well, and on top of that as well. I think I was like all about Nora's playlist at first, but I think Autumn's did win me over later on because I think Daft Punk's in here as well. I was like, actually, nice. I think they've like put her up here as well. They got the Jackson 5 in here. Obviously, See You in Hell is back in here as we keep going on as well. Quite a few different vibe, completely from the other girls as well. Obviously,
nice.
I'm a big fan of that.
Don't You in the Sky by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Don't You, The Breakfast Club. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and there it is. First Steps on Celeste soundtrack. That's Lena Raine right there.
There we go. Yes. I
First Steps to go. Virtual Mage again. Hey.
See, I had to bring that up when I saw that. I was like looking through. I was like, yes, I need to make sure I remember that. Say that to Adam on the podcast because like he'll love that. But yeah, it's quite. I like the fact that it's Celeste, but then it's also a reference to Lena Raine as well because she worked on Harmony soundtrack, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Adam, All Eyes on Me by Tupac.
Vibe, of course. That winner on this, like
Fantastic Voyage by Coolio. Heck yes.
I would say it has got the out of all of them actually. Out of the girls, I think Autumn has the more
automatic like
wide palette.
Slam dunk of a playlist. Autumn's playlist, slam dunk.
And look at that to finish on as well.
By Daft Punk. Like, come on, this is a slam dunk playlist right here. Like, absolutely, yeah. No, I'm giving the win to Autumn's playlist.
Yeah, I think Autumn has like nailed that. Like, I was at Nora at first. I was like, even put out a tweet. I was like, who's got the best Lost
Marin made that playlist.
Yeah, you did it.
Oh, well, I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there that Marin did.
I do.
Yeah, I'm going to say, okay, so we're going to say that Autumn is Marin. Cat, dude, I'm giving this one to Michel. I think Michel has Cat's playlist. Yeah. Nora is Luke. Luke definitely made that.
He's not getting credit for it, but they definitely went up to his desk and were like, yeah, can you like explain some bands? He's like, here, just take my Spotify playlist. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, just take it all. Yeah. And Swann was made by Olivia Lepore.
You think she made it?
I don't know. I don't know anybody else.
I think that's Michel's
Yeah. Yeah, Michel made Swann and Cat.
Yeah, I, like obviously when he said that they're all involved in it, but I think like Michel has like just based on their personalities and stuff.
No, Michel made swans. I don't know who made cats, but Michel made swans just because.
I think
just because of Blade
Marin
Runner
had more. I think Marin had more of an input on Cat's playlist.
Yeah,
I would say Michel is definitely swans, and you're out with the Blade Runner. It's like that is on the money there. And I think Marin's is Cat's playlist, which is like it's got quite a different. It's out there compared to the other characters. I think that's probably again I think this is kind of like a subtle hint to what to expect with some of the characters, where it's like personality wise, this is what it's going to be. But I think like for me, now,
whoever made Autumn's playlist, handshakes, trophies need to be given out, banger playlist right here.
I'm going to do a bit of revisionist history because I did think that it was Autumn's playlist. Nora's playlist was the best, but I think actually Autumn does have the best playlist by far.
Yeah, 2 virtual mages. Let's go, dude.
Just
2 virtual mages.
So good, but yeah, we thought we'd run you through those, but it's really cool for the market in that. So I really enjoyed seeing them put that much work towards it. And it's not easy to put that much time towards making those kind of playlists. But Kid Katana, if you're listening to me, make the vinyl. We want the vinyl.
And we have to
anyway.
And a cassette tape.
There you go. Do as a collectible, man. Do like 500 as copies on cassettes.
Yeah.
Flipped over.
I mean, I hate cassette tapes, but I'll take it.
Yeah, but we have to we're going back to those days, man. We're going back to the old school. Even a CD maybe as well. Do a CD.
Oh yeah.
Remember those? Oh, those were classics.
Do I remember CDs? What are you talking about, my guy? Do I remember CDs? Do I remember?
There you go. See.
Sit down.
Anyway,
CDs.
Where's our favorite CD?
Oh, by the way,
the guy that you.
What's
Avatar.
That? Yeah.
Who was the guy that you kept bringing up last time? The CD.
Oh, Grover Washington? You're talking about Grover Washington Jr.?
That's the one, yeah. We're going to start a podcast up later this year on that.
Do I have another one? No, this is just it's just John Coltrane. Oh, bleh. But we're here for Grover Washington Jr., yeah.
Yeah, he's going to join us on the podcast as the third co-host of Lost Records.
Grover Washington Jr.?
Yeah, apparently he's a big Lost Records fan.
On live television.
He's going to come back to life from the abyss. The abyss.
Yeah, he had a cardiac arrest on live television.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, but come on, I'm from the UK, man. We don't get invested in American,
Apparently not.
That is never going to see the light of day in this podcast. I'll tell you that. That edit's going to come flying in to save my backside. Anyway, Adam, should we kick into our next piece? It's a very brief piece of news anyway.
Yes.
To talk about. Where is it? It is here. Is Marin himself. Brand manager at Don't Nod Montreal has posted there on the 4th of February. Launch trailer of Lost Records is done. Can't wait for you to see it. So the trailer is available, is ready to be launched, and I am waiting for it to drop. And then just 2 other pieces as well from the other 2 very interesting and lovely folks. There is Luke Baghadoust, the studio executive producer at Don't Nod Montreal. I watched. I'm
pretty sure you meant to say watched it today.
Right. Okay. I'm just checking. Yeah. I watched
so
it today.
Many chills that he forgot how to write it.
That is true. Yeah. Or maybe he's scared of it because of Pennywise.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah.
So what a fantastic job Marin did, and obviously there I am as well, parked in the comments.
Absolute cinema.
And then just one more quick one here as well, which is a quick update. This trailer might even be out by the time we talking about it. And there you go as well. And there's Michel, and he says, "So I can share it, Marin. That's okay." and I am, I think, again parked in the comments. There I am.
Let me in.
Such a good. So yes, Adam, launch trailer. We are all hands on deck, so no messing around, and we will be getting launch. When does said launch trailer drop? You have the inside scoop. Let us know.
It drops on the 18th when the launch trailer. It's the launch trailer.
Maybe it comes out a little bit earlier.
The 17th probably, but it's a launch trailer.
The launch.
It's in the name, Adnan. It's launch.
Maybe it comes. Maybe they set it 2 days earlier so they can get people to launch themselves into the game.
Yes, maybe. Yes, you did it.
If this doesn't launch on the launch day, people come back on this video and comment and be like, "Boo, Adam Evalt!" Like, boo, because he's just making this too simple of a conversation.
On launch,
I think it'll come out maybe the day before, if anything.
Yeah, maybe the day before. Yeah,
I'm excited though, very, very freaking excited. It's gonna be like start to finish that day, no one's seeing me ever again.
Oh yeah,
we'll be playing it non-stop. So excited to see it. Adam, main topic before we wrap out. I thought we'd throw this as a I thought we'd throw this out a bit of a wild topic. So obviously, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage will release on the 18th of February. Tape 1 Bloom will come out, and I thought we'd do a series of couple of predictions. I would ask you as well about certain things because I'm going to try and pull this episode ahead of time so things don't age like milk. They can still age like milk afterwards.
Yes.
First up, obviously, if this episode comes out on the Wednesday, which will, let me just double check this as well.
The 12th.
The dates right. Yes, the 12th. Thank you. So it'd be 6 days out from Lost Records Bloom Rage. When do you think the embargoes will lift on the reviews for this game?
Man,
I think the big question to start with.
Dude, I'm thinking on release of this podcast.
Oh, you
because
think?
Okay, so I'm thinking on a podcast standpoint here, right?
Yes.
That reviews are probably going to come out. Like if this comes out on the 18th, they can't. I mean, they could lift it on Friday the 14th, right? On Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
But then you have like Friday and then a whole weekend where nobody's really paying attention, right?
Yeah.
And then it comes out. It has to come out pretty soon. So I'm either going to guess the 12th or the 13th. We're going to see review embargoes go up.
Yeah. So I would agree with you. I don't think putting it on the 14th, that's also good, but then also because you could kind of like play on the fact that it's Valentine's Day. Well, people are busy, and people are going to be doing.
You are busy.
It's Friday. It's all these other things. Like let's just kind of like take all these kind of.
I was gonna say, like, talk about your industry because you've had to deal with review embargoes. Like, if it's coming out on the 18th.
I hate it was like, oh, here's a key. Oh, the game launches tomorrow. I'm like, fantastic. Thank you for that.
Really? Yeah. Like for real though. Like, yeah, when do you think, like in your experience, and you've reviewed Life is Strange before.
Indeed.
When do you think, because I'm gonna say the 12th, but like you being the expert in this field.
I can't read the future, man. It depends though, because like when Square does it, when I used to work with, when I reviewed it and Square would send codes out. For example, in the UK, they used to send them through, I don't know if they still do. They send it through like an agency company, so they would do the distribution stuff. So I think like other companies I've worked with before, where it's like Bastion would send it out, for example, like a review code, and it was like, here's a review code for a bigger publisher. We're going to be handling the UK side of giving review codes out. So in itself as well, I don't think. Here's the other thing I think as well. They're not going to get that many review codes done. So I think it's going to be limited, the amount of review codes. So I think the review codes are going to go out to probably like people at higher influencer based. Yuck. I hate YouTubers and influencers, but that's a different point in itself. Yeah. But I think for outlets, it'll go to the bigger dogs. It'll go to GameSpot. It'll go to IGN. It'll go to any outlet that will do it.
Kind of funny, of course.
Yeah, of course. I think they'll, and I think they should take advantage of their platform as well, especially with their relationship with Greg and stuff. It make natural sense.
Yeah, because they already did that Impressions podcast on the GamesCast.
Yeah.
So
I would be surprised if he didn't get it, and I'm surprised if it would be surprising if Greg didn't do his own impressions on it, at least to give that. I don't think like maybe the other people might not get involved in it, but I think Greg will get involved in it just because he has an interest in that. So that all comes into play. The other thing you have to ask as well is, and here's the big one, and this is the thing with Lost Records: how many of the outlets are really going to review it on day one? Because they might not actually have the time for it. Because what's the other elephant in the room, Adam? Avowed.
Yeah.
Maybe their reviewers are busy on a lot of other projects. Because remember, this is a stat.
That's the other thing. Yeah. When does Avowed review embargo come out? Yeah.
Because one of the things I remember as well last year, what was the big one that I know? One thing that I noticed as well. I remember Life is Strange Double Exposure getting reviewed, and who published their review really late? It was GameSpot. GameSpot posted like, I think, was it like maybe the next month or something? They posted it really freaking late, and I was thinking, Yeah, they posted it a lot later because like IGN posted it on the day, and then GameSpot put theirs out a lot afterwards, and it was like a scathing review. But it shows that if time and management doesn't work, they might not do the same day review. I think maybe like Eurogamer and a couple of other outlets might do it day one. Will every outlet do it? I don't know at that point. So I think like it's going to be play it by ear, like ear of like when it comes out on reviews as well. So that's a big question to ask about when the reviews come out in terms of when they're releasing, when they're going to come out, how are they going to get released in the timeline of things.
Sure.
In terms of reviews, if I was handling Don't Nod's game now, personally speaking, I would have the review code with the people by now. As someone who has no game development experience, as someone who's working just in terms of if I walked in there and did PR and stuff like that, I would have the review codes with every single person since the 7th of February or the 6th of February. I would get the review codes out to them because what I would want to do is I'd set the game out on the 7th or 8th. No, sorry, I get the codes out on the 6th or 7th
for a game that's as short as what was it, 10, 14 hours, something like that?
I think it's like 12 hours and 6 hours each side. I think maybe around about that.
Yeah, so
it's like 10, 12 hours play length. I think it was. So let's say
you think that they're going to give it out like that late or that early? I mean,
see, I would only do it early so people review it. That's my reason for it. So it's like I would only want to give them out the review codes early, saying it's a short game, so play it over the weekend and write your review. So I would be like, here's the review code on the 6th of February, the 7th of February, and the embargoes lift on the 12th of February on the Wednesday. That would be my go.
That's true.
For it. Now, that might not work. It could literally be the review codes get sent out on Monday, the 10th of February, and the embargo gets lifted on the 14th. We could literally be in that time frame. I'm not a mind reader, but I'm just thinking that you're right as well, because I think when you said it's really early to send it out, I would send it out early because when does Evalt come out?
Yeah. Well, technically, the 13th, because again, I want to put this out there. I bought the premium upgrade on Xbox so that I can play it early. So
I would sooner do that where with that 5-day window, as you've just said, where it's the 13th, I would want to get your review code out on the 7th of February and then for them to lift the embargo on the 12th. So by the time you got the 12th out, the reviews are just basically dedicated to like lost records. Because obviously Assassin's Creed is not here anymore either. So we don't have to deal with Assassin's Creed in this window. There are other games here and there, but that's not there. So that would be my
big game because they're reviewing an RPG. Like they're reviewing a Skyrim-esque game. Like that's the wild part, you know?
Which I think that could play into the other conversation. So if we're playing with that and they've got avowed codes now, for example, because when the early release happens, they publish reviews on sites. So I imagine that the embargoes will lift. The other alternative you can do is you hand out codes on the Monday, which is the 10th of February, and then you release the reviews on the 14th. So it's the Friday. So basically people have covered avowed up to that point and done it.
Yeah.
Either or, I would like to think that they have review codes now and that they're reviewing it. And I would like to think that the review embargo gets lifted on the 12th, because one thing that is going to be guaranteed, for example, is that they'll roll out the marketing with all the reviews where people are like, this has been reviewed and stuff. And it'll be no different from like Life is Strange, for example, and Square Enix. They'll do an accolades trailer. They'll do an accolades graphic. This is what game companies do. For me, that's the main one, because obviously if they get a big score, you want to put it under people's noses as soon as possible. And I think that's the thing with Don't Nod, because the marketing has gone differently for this game. And I think they really need to be like, well, IGN's just give it a 9. And it's like, we need like people to see this as well and get it out there. And again, it's that management of the game. And I think for me, I would inclined to agree with you, which you said was the 12th, did you say?
12th, I would say, like the day this podcast comes out.
Yeah, which I think is what I would probably go towards, because at that point, you don't have that many other window dates that you can mess around with. Maybe if you push it to the 11th, maybe the 11th, the embargo could lift as well, if it's like a bit earlier, because it's only, again, it's a 6-hour game.
Well, it's a week away. So if you put it on the 11th, then you have 7 days to like kind of market that, you know.
I don't want them to lift the embargoes on the 17th. That would be like... No.
That's for a new IP from a studio that's struggling right now. I hope to God that who's the CEO for Oscar Gobert, thank you. I hope that Oscar like says, hey, go ahead, give it a week to like market itself, like get these videos out, you know. I hope so.
the last thing you'd want on this calendar as well is to do the reviews being lifted on the 17th, then the launch trailer coming out on the 18th, and then the 19th trying to do an accolades trailer. Because instead, if you did it the week before and you did the Wednesday the embargo lifts, and then the Friday you could drop, or Thursday you could drop an accolades trailer, and then you get to the launch trailer, and then in between that you can post the graphics, so the review scores, where it's like, oh, it's amazing from, Eurogamer, or it's like fantastic from Player One versus the World, even though they're not sending us review codes, and I'm furious. No, I'm joking.
By the way, I love how you're looking at your phone's calendar, and I'm looking at my Nintendo desk calendar with a little Star Fox action there. So that's my reference point. My little Nintendo
I don't have a Star Fox. Well, send me your calendar, and then I'll have one. I can
No, you had to. It was Nintendo. Like you had to be like. Yeah, that get with your points, with your platinum points. If you got, that's the thing. On now you have a Switch. Now you can build up platinum points and you get little prizes, like this guy, this little desk calendar. So that's
it's
what
a
I
little
do
things
with my
for
time.
you, isn't it? It's a little things for you, isn't it?
It's a little things. Thank you, Nintendo. Also, I had to pay for shipping, but
well, hey, it's never free, is it? It's never free, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, Adam. So I think we're in agreement with that. So the other thing I was going to ask you is, and this is the big one as well for prediction.
Where to get this calendar? You can't anymore. It's sold out.
Just give me the calendar. Like, put it for the screen. Let me have it. So, Adam, the big one is going to be, what will be its average Metacritic score? Do you think Lost Records Tape 1 Bloom's average Metacritic score? Obviously, things are going to age like milk for the pair of us at this point, but I thought I'd help you as well before you throw something out here. So obviously we're going to go for reference points. Michel Koch's last two games that he co-directed as well. So obviously the big one, which was Life is Strange back in 2015.
85.
And 85.
Too low. I love Eurogamer Italy. Go Eurogamer Italy. Let's go.
Yeah. I think he gave it a pretty low score as well. IGN was not that favorable towards it, I think.
Well,
hey, look at that. Adam, look who is that. Do you know who that is?
It's an Adnan playthrough. Hardcore Gamer gave it a 90. Let's go.
There you go. I'm one of the higher ranked people on there. Look, there's some low ones as well. Games Radar's at 80 as well. So it's quite a thingy. That's the one that you guys want to listen to anyway. Forget Life is Strange. Anyway.
Yeah.
Adam,
Washington Post. Hey,
look at that. Washington Post. You can't go wrong with that. So for Michel's first game that he co-directed with Raoul Barbet, an 85 rating, generally favorable, obviously good user favorable score there. So I think that's a testament to obviously the first Life is Strange. So it has been an incredible success. And then the last game that we saw Michel co-direct as well, which was the Life is Strange 2 in 2018 and 2019. And a 78, which is again very, very respectable.
Boo, IGN Japan. Boo. Boo, IGN Japan. And Cubed.
Brings more political themes to the table. Well, no.
Wow. You for real. In 2018, in God's country. Interesting.
Never. So, Adam, obviously, Life is Strange 2 scores at a very, very, very respectable 678. Obviously, the mixed user scores are there at 6.7.
Yeah,
so
that was in that mixed. Yeah.
Yeah. For now, but you've become a convert. Where do you rank it? So we got the reviews. The reviews come pouring in. IGN, GameSpot, PlayStation Universe, PlayStation Lifestyle. On the 100-point scale, where do you think this game will settle in terms of a Metacritic score?
You know what? I'm predicting that the first tape will get an average score. An average score of 80. I'm gonna say 80. Mm-hmm.
So you're putting it right in that little ballpark between Life is Strange and 1 and 2.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's respectable. That.
Yeah, is that fair? Is that fair to say?
For an average score across all the publications,
I would say an average score. That's where I'm thinking. What about you?
So here's the interesting one for me, because Life is Strange 1, its main criticisms that brought some of its scores down were obviously the writing, the technical limitations, and the lip syncing. Now, I would hope that lip syncing has been addressed as well, especially they kind of did it with Life is Strange 2 a bit more. And with the motion capture they're doing on this project and Philip Bark coming back, I have no doubt about performances and people who are doing what they need to do in terms of delivering. I don't think writing is going to be that much of a criticism this time around, because Nina Freeman and Desiree are working on this game. So they had the 2 American writers come in to help Jean-Luc and Michel to stylistically help the characters, refine them. So for me, I think that they might be able to kind of like overcome one obstacle, which is criticism towards writing. I still think people will criticize me like, well, it's a bit cringe. And it's like, as long as it's good cringe, I'm fine with that. Good cringe is good cringe, you know?
Good cringe is good. Like, people need to calm down about it's like, oh, it's too cringe. Are you afraid to be happy? Like, are you scared of happiness?
Well,
it's a rock.
Also as well, cringe defines in 2 ways. It can be good and bad. So it's like play to your strengths as well. Life is Strange played to its strengths. So truthfully, my optimistic belief is I hope it lands on an 81. So it just crosses 80.
Yeah? Are you playing Price is Right rules on me? 79.9.
Just being the hipster, right? So I'm like, well. So I think it's going to score at 81 on the higher push for me. That's why I think realistically, that's where I would land with it. And also as well, if it scores higher, I can be like, well, Adam, I got it close. So 81's my highest one.
Okay.
But I could also see this ending at 78. So on a lower estimation, I think it could land where Life is Strange 2 is. Just because I think that maybe tape 1 isn't as strong as tape 2. Because my early prediction is that tape 2 is going to be stronger and that will lift the game up even higher. Because I think obviously the first part, if you think about the first Life is Strange and even like Life is Strange 2, it's a slower build to get to the meat of the chunk. Even like episode 3, 4, 5 in Life is Strange 2 and episode 3, 4, 5 in Life is Strange 1 are phenomenal. They're great. Rules is great as well. They're fantastic. But the first part of those games have always been like a little bit, up and down, pacey, it's a little bit different from that. So I think that maybe they're a bit like, I think it could end on a consensus of like maybe a 78, and they're like, it's very good, but and one of the things for it is that it sets up on a great cliffhanger. So it's like, actually, we're fine with that. So it's a very strong start. It's more about if it lands, i.e. like, the Life is Strange conversation, double exposure.
Sure.
Can this game land? So I think if I'm going to be like a little bit, like in my perspective, just from a review mentality and like kind of projecting, I would say it's going to land on an 81 for me personally, because I think the one hurdle I expect them to cover at this point as well, especially Michel, is the writing, which I think when I saw it early on in the interviews where he said like Desiree and Nina are involved, I was like, that's going to work wonders for you, especially when you and Jean-Luc are working with her. And the other one I think is that they're going to refine the technical limitations. So i.e. with like Philip Bark that they had with in terms of lip syncing, they'll address that with this game. So performance-wise, I think it's going to be great, and other things I think are going to be great. I think it's just going to land on a higher estimation for me, not 81, which I realistically think. If not that, I think if I'm going to be harsher, I think it might land on a 78, but with a caveat where it's like, this could get even better. It's a very good start. Let's see how you go from there. So I think that's my kind of like place. I'm going to put it on 100, on a 100-point scale, if anything.
I think the highest might be like an 81, but the lowest might be 78, like you're saying.
Yeah, if it cracks 85, then oh my god, Don't Nod are gonna be like, they're gonna be like,
like I want to say it's 85. I do, but I also want to be realistic in the game's climate right now.
Also, that Life is Strange 85 is the entire game.
The entire game.
So even my 90 score there is based on the full 5 episodes of Life is Strange, which was, I think, was a 4.5 out of 5, like the full score that I gave it. So it's based on the full season. So if we're basing on just individual chapter, I have a funny feeling it'll land bottom of 80 rank, and then with like obviously maybe bleeding into like the 70s a little bit. Anything above 85, Oscar Gilbert, I'm going to do a GIF where it's the absolute cinema and it's just Oscar Gilbert's head on it instead, and it's going to be like, he's going to hire me after that as well. He's going to be like, right, Adnan, get into Paris, let's get you in here. I'm like, see, this is it.
Paris.
Just making him personal, just making him some personal memes, if anything. Oh, dude, if it's an 85, they're going to throw marketing budget at this nonstop. It's not.
Yeah. I hope it does. I really do hope it gets 85. But like I said, like I feel people moved on from this type of game. It's a shame. It's a real damn shame. And we're coming out in February, which we've discussed before, that like a lot of huge games, like including Monster Hunter Wilds, Avowed. Thank God, not Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I think that's under Ubisoft's detriment,
So they've got their own problems as well, Ubisoft, haven't they? It's like that game.
But
you're right though, because the climate has changed, and it's like even with like Don't Nod, you can't even make the argument that Don't Nod has made bad games in the last 5 years. They've made good games. Either it's you or Nice Fuel or someone else saying it's been Banishers is incredible, and it's like other people saying that Jusant is a very good game. It's not the quality of the games; it's about getting the marketing, getting people.
I forgot Kingdom Come Deliverance came out. Yeah, it came out the 4th. Yeah. Dang.
It's stacked, man. This is when I said to you before, I said like it could be when do reviewers publish it, because they might not do it day one. Because you have to think about that as well. With journalists as well, and journalism, they care about clicks. You know, people need to be searching things. Are people searching lost records? At the moment, if you, for example, here's a bit of insight into SEO world and stuff. If you go and look at things now online, it's like there's loads of articles saying, here's everything you need to know about lost records, Bloom and Rage, and price and pre-orders and release dates, because basically they do that because people are searching for it. There are people now searching for lost records content. That's why they do it. Maybe at reviews, some people might jump on it early. Other people might not do it, because Adam just mentioned one game there. There's Evalt coming out around the corner. There might be another game that they might have it. How many reviewers do they actually have to assign to these things? Maybe content creators are their revenue stream of like getting people to kind of, you know, get them to push the message out there via codes. But as well, at the same time, you can't really put a content creator's name on an accolades trailer, because people like, who's JetX 5897? Because if they never heard of them, they're like, who's that? At least if it's an IGN, it has more weighting to it, if anything. Even traditional media will always have that advantage over influencers and YouTubers. So I'm hoping it scores well. You know, fingers crossed for them. I hope that this succeeds. And those are my estimations from that. I think, Adam, as well, one last point to end our main topic as well.
Yes.
You haven't even played the game. I haven't played the game. But obviously, Player One vs. the World has its own review scale, as we did for Life is Strange Double Exposure. We have our own 10-point scale. It's in a 5-star system, 0.5.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. I was like, yeah, we do have our own rating.
Do. Yes. We have reviewed games before on this channel, as it has now become a theme. Not even touching this once, having only covered it and putting your biases aside to Mr. Baghadoust and to also Mr. Koch as well. What do you think it's going to get? What would you give it? What do you
throwing out my bias? 5. My bias is out the window. It's 5.
Having not touched it once, what do you think you'll give it after you've played the first episode? Projecting without having even touched the controller and playing the game.
I think I'm gonna give it like probably an average. Like if I put this controller down, like a 4, probably, because this is an Adam-esque game. Like this is straight up my kind of game. I love Life is Strange. I love exploratory games. I love just chilling, and I love good stories. This is just like an Adam game. So it would have to like really screw up or really be boring for me not to give it a 5. But like I'm gonna just say it's a 4 for me, just because it's checking all the boxes from what we're seeing. So I'm gonna say it's gonna give me a 4.
That's interesting. So every game I've reviewed of Michel Koch, who's made any game, and any of the episodes I've reviewed of his, have scored a 4, a 4.5, or a 5. I don't actually think one scored 4. I think they've all scored 4.4, 4.5 or 5s, if anything. So the bar is set very high for me at this point as well. My projection on this review score, if I was going to review it without even playing it, the bar is set at a 4. It has to be that's the minimum I expect from this game. I want to be walking away from this and thinking this is a 4-star out of 5 game. Does it mean it's going to be like, oh, it's a sleeper hit, Life is Strange style? I'm not looking at that factor. I'm just saying in terms of when I play this, will it get a 4 out of 5? Like that's what it needs to like hit for me. Like there's no expectation where I'm like a 3 is sufficeable. 4 is what I'm setting myself at like that game. So that's the one. Obviously, the big question is, can Michel get the distinguished 4.5 out of 5 from more, as I've done before with his other games? That's the big thing. Can he match Rules, which got a perfect score from me at one point? You know, that's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
I will say as well, like, if anything, when I was reviewing games, I would never award a game 10 out of 10 unless rare exceptions. And when I did Rules, for example, Rules was the sum of its parts. So obviously, if I reviewed Life is Strange 2 in its entirety, would the game have scored a 5? No. Across the average scores, it probably would have not got that. And I don't think a perfect game exists usually, in some cases, barring Metal Gear Solid, and Life is Strange 1. But The big question is, can Michel Koch get me another 4.5 out of 5 rating as I did before in the industry? But my prediction is 4, and I expect nothing less than that. I would be slightly disappointed if it didn't hit that expectation. My expectations are here, and it's from not necessarily being like, oh, it's going to be the new Life is Strange, and Swann Holloway is going to be Swann Caulfield and all this. It's more about their storytelling and their creativity and their indie-esque vibe that they add to things and their flavor palettes. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I also want to see, and the big one for me, and before I kind of wrap up here, because I know we're going for a while, the big one for me is that I want to see what Michel Koch is doing with storytelling in 2024, 2025, because the big thing you said before, which is the one thing I've been thinking about for weeks and months, the climate has changed so much from the games that they were telling in the past.
Yeah.
A Life is Strange, for me, will never exist again in terms of the 2015 hit that it had. This needs to be its own animal. It needs to be its own beast, and it needs to be telling something completely different in its own vein. And it's doing a coming-of-age story, but this feels like a quote-unquote, as Michel said, a true coming-of-age story of someone's entire, youth to their adult years. So the bar is set for a 4. So now let's see if Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Tape 1 can deliver a 4 out of 5 score. And you'll also get that, I imagine, on the next episode of the Lost Records Journal when we review it as well. So we'll have a full review out of our first impressions on Tape 1. Let's see how that ages. Anyway, Adam, we're done here. So let's wrap it up for the time being. Anything else?
Okay. Post Malone has Oreo cookies out now.
There we go. And you won't be able to find them in Velvet Cove because that'll be too many licensing issues. Anyway, we'll wrap up here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new here and you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, you should like the video, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. You get to keep up to date with all the podcasts we do, the shows that we do, the interviews, discussions. So do follow this channel as well, because we've just crossed 1,500 subscribers and we're available on all podcast services as well. So the Lost Records Journal is searchable via Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So go and rate us over there, go and follow us, because it helps boost our visibility, it helps us get access to other people, and then other people can download the episodes as soon as they become available. So yeah, Adam, we'll be back now. I think we've got like a little video planned in between this and the next StrangeCast, but StrangeCast is up next week. I don't know if StrangeCast will include any Lost Records talk, like any early impressions, because I think that might be too soon. It'll be too soon. Yeah, we're coming out. Yeah. We're recording beforehand, and then I think we're releasing like the day or maybe the day before when the game comes out. But yeah, stay tuned for the next Lost Records Journal episode, because you'll have our full review, episode 1, Bloom, and that'll be a big moment for this podcast as well. But yeah, until next time, take care. See you later. Bye.
Bye.